Yeah.
Hello everybody, Savat the Mighty here, and I'm back with another Eve Echoes video. In today's video, we're back on the Fulmination test server, and we're taking a look at the frigates, the faction frigates still. And in today's episode, we are going to be taking a look at the Blood Raiders Cruor. Now, before we jump into the fit, if you do like my content, please leave a like on the video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you'd like to be notified when I release new content in the future. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here. So the Blood Raiders Cruor, and I had to actually look that one up because I couldn't say it. For its bonuses, its roll bonus, it gets 100% Energy Nosferatu Overload penalty. That allows it to basically use its Nosferatu at any particular time that it wants to and always get full effectiveness out of it. For Advanced Electronic Warfare per level, it's going to get plus 15% Energy Nosferatu Efficiency, plus 15% Energy Neutralizer Strength, and plus 20% Stasis Web of Fire Optimal Range. For Advanced Frigate Command, per level it's going to get plus 25% Small Laser Damage, and plus 7.5% Small Laser Tracking Speed. For its basic information, its overall defense is at 4,216, with a flight velocity of 378, a warp speed of 5, a power grid output of 88 megawatts, a capacitor of 905 gigajoules, and a cargo hold capacity of 270 M3. Alright, so what did we decide to do with this ship? I'm still pretty much treating this ship for the PvE process. However, one of the things that I did want to take into account here is what you can do, and that is using the neutralizer. Having one of these bad boys fit while you're out and about roaming in low sec, maybe null sec, doing scouts and whatnot. If you get into combat with another frigate, this is going to give you a big upper hand. But we'll talk about that a little further in just a moment. First off, for our high slots, I went ahead and put in 3 Corpi C-type small pulse lasers. Now, the pulse lasers themselves, they're going to have an optimal range of 6.56 km with an accuracy falloff of 3.38 and a tracking speed of 660. Meaning it's going to be pretty close range, but you should be able to get there. I don't think that that's going to be too much of an issue with this ship. In the medium slots, we do have a Predator Stasis Web of Fire that has an optimal range of 29.6 km, allowing you to really reach out and grab somebody. So that is also pretty cool. I like having that in there. Now, I did put in the medium energy neutralizer, and this one here is just basically to nuke the heck out of them. It's going to neutralize 389 gigajoules for every 12 seconds. So that's pretty cool, but I mean, for the purposes of PvE, that's not really going to help you too terribly much. I just kind of put that in there because I thought it would be funny. In the other slot, I have a Vikarlakas Small Energy Nosferatu, and that is going to help us remain cap stable. If we actually take this off, let's go ahead and unfit that here real quick. It only lasts for 1 minute and 14 seconds. So, a good thing to have. Now, another thing you can do is if you do unfit the neutralizer, you can see this ship is cap stable out of the box. So if you were just purchasing this for PvE entirely, you could really put in whatever you want to in this other slot here. You have your 2 there, you're already cap stable. This is going to help you be a little bit more cap stable. One of the funny things about this ship here is you can put in some oversized stuff, but it requires a lot of manipulation of the fits, and it really isn't that necessary. So for now, we're just going to go ahead and throw that back in there. And we are going to put in our medium. Okay. That's going to be our defense if we're attacked by mean, nasty people. In our low slots, we are going to be running a Sinti C-type small afterburner, a Corpi C-type small armor repairer, and a Centum C-type heatsink. This is to give us more damage. For the purposes of doing PvE, the ship is doing 502 damage, and that's just cold and it's out of the box, so it's pretty good. I like it. We have 2 of the laser I'm all over the place. Our laser burst aerators, we have 2 of those, and we have 1 laser collision accelerator. So 1 damage, 2 activation times. We're using an auxiliary thrusters 3 to move a bit faster, and we have not 1 but 2 polycarbon engine housings. And these are to help our orbit radius. We're going to be doing a lot of orbiting. The ship does go pretty quick, and we do have to stay within a very small range, so that's going to help us out there tremendously. Another thing I looked at was trying to put a medium armor repper on here. That just didn't quite fit. You can do the shield booster, so that is completely up to you. We'll talk about that now. So we're looking at the offense again. We're at 502 DPS. For our defense, we're sitting at a total of 5,985 effective hit points, with 1,274 of that in shields, with an EM resistance of 0, a thermal resistance of 20, a kinetic resistance of 40, and an explosive resistance of 55. For armor, we have 1,814 armor hit points with an EM resistance of 50, a thermal resistance of 35, a kinetic resistance of 25, and an explosive resistance of 19, giving us a little bit better armor resistances at all. Now, we are going to be speed tanking, so I mean, if you really wanted to, you can put that medium shield booster in. I really don't think it's going to matter all that terribly much, to be 100% honest. So you can do whatever you want to do. Obviously, again, you can take this out, run another neutralizer as well. And just for you guys who are going to be curious about that, if we do throw in here, just put in a small, let's unfit that, and let's have a look here and put in a C-type medium shield booster if it'll fit. It does. We didn't have to do much more changes. So, C-type medium shield booster with 2 of those, you're able to actually rep for quite a bit, and that's going to use a lot. It's going to be really, really good. So if you're going straight up PvE, that's probably how you would fit it. I mean, you could be completely cap stable with a medium booster. That's phenomenal. Phenomenal. But again, if you wanted to run the neutralizers, do what the ship was going to have to do, you can do that as well. And I kind of just wanted to showcase both of those. I'm going to change this back to the other fit just for now, because I don't really think we're going to need to have all this extra defense, to be honest. I don't think it's going to be necessary. Okay, so we're going to put in the small, and we're going to put back in our medium moat. There we go. All right. So that's pretty much the fit there. Let's go over the rest of the stats here. So for our capacitor, we're sitting stable here. It's at 4.15 gigajoules, our 29.6%. Capacitor capacity is 1,358 gigajoules with a recharge time of 242 seconds. For our targeting, we have 14 points with a scan resolution of 1,119 with a signature radius of 26, so we can lock a maximum of 5 targets. And our navigation is sitting at 623.70 with a warp prep time of 1.75 and a warp speed of 5. Our maximum power grid is 132 without having any power grid enhancements. And that is what we're looking at. And we're going to go ahead and take this ship out for the combat. I'll be right back with that. Alright, here we are outside of the cosmic anomaly, or combat anomaly rather. And let's go ahead and take a look at our speed. So when we activate our afterburner, we are sitting at a navigation of 1,760.93. And we don't have any armor hardeners or anything on this, so we should be good. So our cosmic anomaly, we're going to warp in. Doesn't really matter.
Warp drive active.
Yeah, really like the way this ship looks. I think it's really cool. I always did like this style of ship. It's nice to see that lasers are able to actually hit with the 500 damage threshold on their faction frigate, and still have a lot to really come out of it. Again, the ability to run that medium shield booster as well it's pretty cool. All right, we should be getting in range quite soon. We can activate that if we want. If we activate this, we can see our damage goes to 643. So 643 is definitely not bad. I like that quite a bit. Let's focus fire on that. Able to take out some pretty big ships pretty quickly. Very nice speed tank that's on it. We didn't activate our afterburner at all, so we haven't been speed tanking really at all. Okay. It doesn't particularly matter what order we go in things here. We can activate that. Activate our web. Alright, so we have an auto orbit set on 5, and we're actually orbiting out at 6 with the 2 housings that we're running to make our orbits a bit tighter. So we might even be able to get a little closer than that. I mean, we're still doing 1,600 here, so we're not losing much speed. Let's try the orbit at 4 and see what that puts us out to. Orbit 4. Okay, so we are able to keep that 5 orbit at just, yeah, at about 1,500 instead of that 1,600. So I think an orbit of 5 is just fine. We're still within range of our weaponry. Ah! Okay, so that did not want to work. My mouse was working funny with that. There we go. So it is still going to take it a wee bit of time to actually take out some of the bigger ships. That's okay. It still can do it pretty good. We'll activate our stuff here. And we haven't even gone into armor yet, even with that big fail at the very beginning there. And we can activate the neutralizer. So it should be able to just leave everything on, and we're good to go. It's hitting pretty hard on these ships. I really do enjoy it. Especially for watching a laser ship do so much work. I always enjoy that too. Now this was one of the options for one of the ships I actually thought about picking up for my main account. And I decided not to go with this ship, and I foregoed small lasers whatsoever. And I need to actually go back in and look into those. I might actually pick something up and train back into the small lasers. I want to do it for the purposes of the activation time on the heat sinks and have those in there. And I might play around with a faction frigate myself, so I think that might actually be pretty fun. So I'm excited to do that and see what comes of it. Oh, we should probably activate our stuff here. We don't need to continue to activate that for the PvE stuff. It's just kind of showing that it can. Yeah. Okay. So we got a couple of small ships here. Let's go ahead and put those in orbit. We could pretty much stop those. Our shield was almost fully regened already. What else do we want to lock up? Let's lock up these guys. I think we can pretty much lock them all. Start moving our orbit around. Activate our heat sink and get to work. 1,380. Very good hits in the shields. Takes out shields quite quickly. These guys are mostly armor and hull though, so... Okay. Moving on to the next target. Let's reactivate all of our stuff. Yeah, hitting for 1,700. Very nice. Keeping a very good orbit. Ship does have quite a bit of maneuverability for its speed. the faction frigates, you can't really go wrong with any of them. Just this ship, in my opinion, comes a little more defensive, in my opinion. So it can reach out and grab people. You can replace the newt or whatever with warp scrams and stuff like that. I think it'd be funny just to drain the cap completely of your foe. So I like that idea. But I mean, hey, to each their own, right? And I think it's funny that you still can be able to go through all the content, basically doing your speed tank, and have the ability to do that, making this probably one of my favorite ones for running out into low sec and null sec with. Just a blast. And I like lasers. Okay, let's activate our next ability. And again, I'm not saying that having the medium shield booster on here wouldn't be better. If you're just doing the straight up PvE content, being able to stay stable in a frigate with a medium shield repper, it's going to be the way to go. You're going to get a lot of benefits out of that. But we haven't even really had to even use the armor repper here. So, I mean, whatever you put in there, most likely it's just going to be for a PvE fight and healing up any little ancillary damage that you're going to take during the first spawns of stuff and you're getting into your orbits and whatnot. So, I mean, ultimately, take whatever you want. Okay. Moving into orbit around the next guy. We can slow him down. There we go. All right. Let's start in orbit. While we're close. We are warp jammed in this case here. One of the features of using these frigates is you don't really use micro warp drives at all, so those don't really do anything to you. We'll take out this guy pretty quickly. Our tracking is extremely well with those the tracking buffs that we get. So even at these speeds, unlike a lot of the other ships, it can hit pretty accurately. Alright, let's start our orbit, start locking up the rest of these guys. And boom! We're good to go. There's nothing they can do to us anymore. Cuts through shields very quickly. Has the ability to do lockdown. I mean, what can you say? What's wrong with this ship? Is it the highest of the DPS of the frigates? Absolutely not. Is it very effective and fun? Oh yeah, very effective and very fun, especially if you like doing the circles. What I mean by the circles is if you ever zoom out in a frigate, if I could get my game to actually zoom out completely. There we go. You have the circles of doom. Let's get back in orbit. And here we go. Just cutting through the middle of all those ships there. The circles of doom. You never really want a frigate stuck in a circle of doom around you. Unless you got some baller webs. Yeah, I don't have my auto orbit and auto next target on. I've been testing around and playing around with a lot of different things on the test server, so I really didn't feel like just going into setting that back for this. But you could definitely set that up and have a more of an AFK experience with the speed tanking. Alright, enough of that. Enough of the circles. Here we go. And we're in on the last ship over here, Talos, and we're going to go ahead and give him a bad day. Perfect. Let's nude him and repair. But if you see, I mean, we never really got into our armor. So having that shield, the medium shield, would definitely be better. I mean, you could always top off with that. But again, we never got to armor, and our shields are pretty much back to full already without even having a shield booster. Which means, again, except for emergency situations and maybe versus players and whatnot, you don't really have a need for it. It's just there to help out, especially in longer fights, to get rid of that chip damage. Alright, and we'll activate this one last time. And as you can see again, it is doing 643.27 DPS when it's hot. And that's that. Oh, right. Awesome little ship. It looks very happy too. Hey guys, thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.